Hello viewers, your average driver here. I'm back in race B because I wanted to share a minor incident that occurred with everyone. As a reminder, it's 5 laps in Group 4 cars, times 1 fuel and tires. It's P12 this time, so the rolling start works out okay in spite of having to navigate the final turn. Everyone's through turn 1, nice and neat. A quick reminder, please stick around to the end. I did the daily race immediately after this one. I'll have a couple of bonus clips from that race. Something rather amusing happened, and I thought you would enjoy it as much as I did. Down the back straight we go. I think Adawan had a little run on Apex here as he tries to get around him. Apex tries to close the door, but to no avail. Adawan gets through in the chicane. Apex gets a little loose there, and we give him a tap. No harm, no foul. It was just unavoidable racing contact there. Turn 7, don't run too wide. I use the curve nicely there. I don't kick quite as far over to the right as I normally would. I didn't want to make contact with Apex Predator again, as we had just had a brief contact in the previous corner. Up ahead, Adawan has a 1 second, probably a track limits penalty for that chicane. There's a car off over on the left, so we gain a position there, heading into the toe of the boot. And up into 10th. I'm gaining on Apex here, and he sees me coming. A little jog to the right. That was a nice move to avoid contact. Unfortunately, he grabs dirt, and I give him another tap on the rear bumper. It certainly was unintentional. Adawan now, he's coming up in the rearview mirror and makes a beautiful dive right down the inside. That was nicely done, nicely timed, well done to our Canadian friend. Some lovely driving right there. Second to last corner, I get a really nice run out of here, gaining on Adawan, but then I undo it all with the completely missing the apex on the last corner. Very important, that last corner. You want to get a good run down the front straight. As you see, I'm losing a little bit of time to Adawan, and we head into lap 2. Lap 2 starts much as lap 1 did, following closely behind Apex and Adawan. We're starting to see a pattern forming here. I'm gaining on my neighbor to the north actually, and making up some of the ground I lost on the front straight. Now within 0.2 seconds we can check out our competitor's livery. I assume that to be Cerberus on the back of his car. I couldn't quite make out the theme, honestly. Into the chicane. I'm braking a little bit earlier here, trying to avoid contact. Everybody gets through nicely. Much cleaner than lap 1 actually. Into the downhill right-hander. My Adawan, he goes a little bit wide, and then, he starts moving to the right, and we're off. Oh, I'm going around. This is a disaster. Adawan spins around too. Luckily, though, I end up pointed in the right direction. I don't have to hit reverse. That just takes forever when you have to turn around. I had a big gap behind me, so the damage is minimal. I lost 2 places, but I'd like to review that incident, so gonna go back to the apex of that turn. Right, we're here at the apex. Adawan has already started to run wide, and I'm already back on the throttle. Although not the most common place you'll see cars crash on this course, you do still frequently see drivers run wide and hit the barrier. In fact, Apex Predator, he runs wide and crashes into that barrier we're looking at later in this race. Moving forward slightly, we see Adawan has already caught the car and has actually begun moving back towards the racing line. I'm still on the racing line, and that's actually taking me towards the left side of the track. This has left me with a split-second decision. I have traffic behind me, so if I lifted, I'm very likely going to get bumped into. I could try to time this and swing around the back of his car and end up going around the left side. In hindsight, that would have been ideal, as it would have left me in an inside position for the next turn. Pay attention to my steering angle here. I'm not quite all the way on full lock. You'll see the exact moment when I make my decision. That's when the inevitable happens. We bump and both spin out. The stewards reviewed this one and decided no further investigation necessary, so I want to make a quick comment on that. Now, Gran Turismo 7 gets its share of criticism. Some deserved, some not. I could easily compose a speech regarding my opinion on the matter, but that's better served by its own video. I will say this. We've all received a ridiculous penalty at some point. No doubt penalties are a difficult thing to code, and it's astonishing the system works as well as it does. It's nice to see the algorithm which governs penalties is able to judge a collision where both drivers make an error, identify it as a racing incident, and let everyone get on with their race. No penalties were assessed here. This is why I wanted to share this video. I think it's important to recognize when the game gets something right. Too often, the positive aspects of this or any game get lost amongst the noise. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of this incident? Should either of us have received a penalty? Believe it or not, I did receive a clean race bonus here. We'll now rejoin the action near the end of lap 4. Now, because of the spin, I had a little bit of a gap to make up. Eventually, I do catch D. Ramos, also in a GTR. I get a nice little run on him here through these last couple of corners. He touches the dirt there, doesn't help his cause, and then he gets a little wide and touches the grass. That gets his rear end all squirrely and puts me right on his bumper, giving me a really good slipstream, and I can pull alongside him on the front straight. Now, this was pretty much the end of the action, and I wanted to show this clip because of this little bit of driving here. We head into side by side, and I can't tell if we touch. I didn't feel a touch at the time this happened, but upon review, it looked like we may have bumped there. It was a nice bit of driving on his part to back off there. I did have the corner. I was well inside him on the apex, so that was my corner, and I feel that was my position, and I did not have to back off there. I would eventually go on to finish P10, and as promised, I did the very next daily race, so here's a couple of bonus clips from that race. It's the beginning of the race, and as you see, I've started directly behind Adawan again. Now, because of our previous contact, I didn't want to drive directly behind him. I wanted to be a bit sporting about it. Just after the first turn, our friend stays towards the middle, so I'm over on the left of the track. He's down on the racing line. I again try to keep toward the middle, into the left-hander. He gets a little bit in front of me there, but I stay left on the exit. I start to move right, he moves left. He moves right, I move left. We stay toward the middle, mostly in the straight, and drifted a little bit in front of me, but then jogs to the right just before the chicane. Lap 2, same spot, just after turn 1. I'm still directly behind Adawan. He moves to the middle of the track, so I stay left. And again through these corners, as I move right, he stays left. As he moves right, I stay left. I found this whole sequence amusing. It felt as if we both recognized the sportsmanship on the other's part. And keeping with our earlier theme of recognizing positive things, I wanted to share this one as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I will see you soon with another.